What's up, guys? Welcome back to AC Designs Garage, and on today's episode I'm going to show you how to put the chop suey on some rust. We're going to kill this stuff, not cover it up and encapsulate it so it'll come back and bite your paint back later. We ain't going to do that. We're going to kill it. So we got some of the super secret rust killer over there, and we're going to spray it on that 65 C10 fender and make her like brand new. So let's get at it. All right, guys, welcome to the gorgeous 72-degree weather here in North Carolina at the end of March 2024. Already t-shirt weather. Speaking of t-shirts, y'all want to scoop you up one of these awesome AC Designs Garage t-shirts, make sure you head on over to www.acdesignsgarage.com so you'll be one of the cool kids. But back to the project at hand here. If you've watched my videos before, the past 2 weeks we've been working on this fender. This is a 1965 C10 fender. It's going on my truck patches. It's all patina truck, so in the future it's going to be another week or two, I think, probably. But we're going to do a whole patina on this fender just to match it back. That's why I left this as a reference. And we're going to try to match it back the best we can, because I don't want anybody to be able to look at this thing and tell that we've repaired it or done anything to it. 2 weeks ago, I showed you how to strip off all the surface rust and paint off of this with a cool little trick. Make sure you go back and watch that. I'm going to drop both of these videos in the description box below. Just click on the little arrow there where it says more, and you can watch more. And last week, I showed you how to make this patch section here, including all this roll, all by hand, no English wheels, no nothing, just hammers and dollies and basic hand tools you guys have. And she turned out pretty good. Ain't gonna take a whole lot of dough to fix it. We got that done, but like I said, both of these will be in the description box below. You can go watch them. But today, we're using the secret sauce, the rust killer. We're gonna kill this rust. You don't want to encapsulate rust. You don't want it to be there. You want it gone. Get rid of the problem and it won't come back and bite you. So that's what we're going to do today. We took it down and wire brushed it and ground it best you can, but it leaves all this stains, and I don't know if these stains will come back, a little bit of rust or anything, but we're going to get rid of it with the rust killer. I'd like to thank Thomas for reaching out in the comment section, let me know about this secret sauce. He knows what it is. We're going to list it at the end so y'all know what it is. I'm going to link it and everything. Not sponsored for this stuff. I pay for this stuff with my own moolah. But Thomas told me about it. He said stuff works great. They've used it in marine industry and all that stuff. And if it'll fix rust in the marine industry, you know that stuff works. So we're going to get ready to get this prepped and get ready to start spraying this stuff. I got a few little tips we used to use on stripping paint. We'll lay rags on it, because basically what it does, it just holds the stuff on it longer without drying out. So these heavier areas we may saturate and lay the rags. You can do plastic or rags, whatever, and cover it. That's what we used to use paint stripper, because the longer it stays on, the better it works. But let me tell you real quick about this stuff. With any acidic type stuff, be very careful, guys. I got a bucket of water over here. You don't want to get in your eyes. You want to cover your eyes. You want to cover your hands. You want to cover your arms. Make sure you watch which way the wind's blowing. The wind's blowing this way now, so I'm going to spray from this end, so if it blows that way. It's not real harsh smelling, but it does stink pretty bad. I would do it outside. But we're going to use the rubber gloves, rags. Like I said, cover everything up. We're going to saturate. This stuff is cleans up with water, so if you get it on you and it does sting and burn, you can take water and clean it off. You can apply it with a spray bottle like I am, or you can use a brush or rag, wipe it on, whatever. You just want a nice thin layer of it. It's about water consistency if you look at it. It's pretty thin, so it'll creep down in these lap places. And basically what it does, if you know, I'm no scientist here, but rust is just iron oxide. So what this stuff does, it converts it into a iron phosphate, which kills it. It don't cover it up, it don't hide it beneath. All this is cleaned off. It works best like this if you get it as clean as you can. And we're gonna let this stuff, we're gonna spray it on real good. I'm out here in the sun just because it feels good, but we'll probably put it back in the shade so it don't dry too quick. But it needs to sit 24 hours, and we'll come back tomorrow and look at it. And usually it'll turn everything black, and you know then it's good and neutralized and killed, and you ain't got to worry about it no more. On the jug it says it's made for to put like an oil-based primer. Don't use any water-based paints over it, because it will react. It also said if you're going to use epoxy, which is what I would do, I'd clean this real good with brake clean before I shot it, but I'd shoot some epoxy if you're doing like a higher end paint job. We're just going to use like Rust-Oleum red oxide for ours, which it'll work good for it, but you can use that. But epoxy, if you was going to do a really good job on it, that's what I would use. But it said to test the area before you commit and do the whole thing. That's with anything, different paint manufacturers and brands and stuff. You want to test it out before you do a whole thing, and then it just blisters up and wrinkles, because I've had that happen. But we're going to get suited up here real quick, and I'm going to bring you around. We're going to squirt this thing down. I got well, let me show it to you real quick. Over here in Rustville over here, got a Camaro subframe, 68 Camaro subframe. We ain't grounded or nothing, so I'm just gonna spray the top up, and we'll make sure we come back tomorrow and look at it and see how it does on that. But it's just regular old rust, been up under a car forever, and we're gonna try that. So I'm excited to try this stuff out. I really appreciate Thomas reaching out. Like I said, guys, drop down stuff down below. I read these comments. I try to answer all of them I can. Spend a lot of time on them, but I mean, I got subscribers or friends. We'll call them friends instead of subscribers. That's just so cold sounding. Subscriber. All right, y'all my friends, so y'all taking time out of your day to watch this stuff, so we're gonna call you friends. So Thomas, my friend, reached out, like I said, told me about this stuff, so we're gonna use it. So here we go. All right, just for giggles, I'm gonna just wipe this. It's probably been sitting there, got grinding dust and stuff on it, and get all this wiped off. We want all the potential for this thing to work good. Like I said, we're gonna go over on the Camaro, and you can see where that's already flash rusted right there where I handled it. So we're gonna just get this stuff wiped off. We want the best opportunity. Just always put your best foot forward on this stuff, and make sure you cover up. Got my table here my buddy gave me years ago. Cowboy table is what we call it. Sure thing ain't gonna fall over. Probably will. But just covered up with trash bag. That way I don't think it'll hurt anything, but just gonna make sure. So now, of course, the wind's blowing this way, so we're gonna take heed of that. So let me see how it does. Let me move my tripod. I don't junk all over it. All right. Keep in mind of the wind. They're primed up. She's on wide. We want to narrow her up just a little bit. Not that much. Paramore. I want a little fan to it. The old bottle of here about shot. All right, let's see what she does. There you go. I'm just gonna cover even the bare metal. I don't think it'll do anything on the bare metal. I don't think it'll hurt the paint either, but we're gonna soak that air right there. That stuff stinks. I should be wearing a respirator, but it's kind of hard to talk. Well, check out how that stuff's doing. It's already fizzing and bubbling and stuff. Yeah, it's got a little acid on here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna saturate it real nice like. And I'm probably gonna try to keep it wet, so we're gonna keep an eye on what it's doing. I'm gonna try to keep her good and wet and stuff like that. You can see where it's dried out over here. And that nook and cranny. You can see it really highlighted that rust because it's starting to work on it. This sitting there eating away. Like I said, I don't know if it's going to do anything here on the bare metal where there ain't no rust, which it ain't got nothing to convert if there's no rust there. So yeah, I'm gonna spray up in there too. Y'all probably can't see that. I'm just gonna go underneath this thing and just we'll flip it over one day and do the back side before we paint it. Yeah, we got some stuff down in there. Yeah. I'm gonna get me another pair of gloves on and carry this thing back in the shop in here to where it don't dry out too quick, and we'll check her back out here in a little bit. We'll go over here on the super rough stuff. I think I'm gonna do a video for, well, good Lord. You know what would be the perfect deal here? The lift. She's pretty rough. We may do a video on painting the lift. Poor old thing. Just looking rough. We need to get her looking good again. We'll get some good paint. We'll show you how to isolate all that right there and then get a good paint job on it. We'll probably brush it or something, but I ain't gonna mess with that now. I'm gonna come over here on the old Camaro. The subframe, ain't nothing been done to it. We'll soak her down good like that, and we'll keep an eyeball on her. Now we're gonna go put the fender up. If the sun would stay in, I'd just leave it sitting out here, but I don't know if it's going to or not. I'm gonna go up here and eat me a bean. That way we give her about an hour. Come back, see it's already starting to turn that brown black. Oh, look at the front, check that out. Yeah. I'll put me one more little coat on it before I go in. Man, you really gotta watch which way that wind's blowing. I need to go get me some Rust-Oleum. Go ahead and get the red oxide. Yeah, let's go put this in the shade. That way it don't dry too quick on us. All right, guys, I forgot I was gonna tell you how to use the tips and tricks and stuff on the heavy stuff with the towels here, since it's already wet right there. Let's see if this makes any difference. Let's see. Heavy, heavy, heavy. There we go. This will give us a good thing here. When we go to lunch, we'll come back and pull this off. Yeah. So what you do is you just saturate her down like that. Take my hand and rub it in, that way it all. Take it off my paint. Don't want to mess up my paint, do we? Come back. That'll hold her good and thick on there. What you would normally do is just cover up that the whole fender with it. I guess I can do, sorry booger, guess I can do a whole section anyway. How we want to do this, guys? Yeah, we'll do this right here. We'll take it down to the crevasse here, and I don't know if it's gonna make any difference or not. I know it works for stripping paint. If you ever strip paint with that paint stripper, either take you a trash bag or saran wrap and do this right here, because it'll just keep it on it longer. Of course, this new paint stripper we got now ain't worth a hootenanny, so I just strip it like I showed you the other day, stripping this fender. Yeah, that there should hold it. One more coat for giggles. It's looking pretty good though. I can tell the difference in it. It's already turning black. All right, guys, let's go eat a bean. We'll come back out and pull her out in the sunshine and see how she be looking. All right, guys, well, here she is. She's all pretty dried out. Everything to me, it's all turned to black. The neat thing is, I don't know if you could see it on the camera before, but there's a lot of rust stains and stuff on the white. It's all gone. Got rid of it. What we're going to do is, may need to, I didn't let it sit long enough. You can see it turned all that rust. It's turned into the iron phosphate now. I can see a couple little pinholes I'm going to have to fix, but yeah, even this right here had the rust stains on it. Let's see how this done under the rag. See if that made a, guys, it actually did make a difference. Check that out. You see the line? Yeah, dead jump, son. See the line right there, guys? I think that did make a difference, because it's like it's pulling the rust off. Look at that. Yeah, we need to do that to the whole fender. Look at that. Look how good that actually cleaned it compared to the rest of it. It's a noticeable difference. New trick, keep that in the old brain pan. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wet her down again, and we're just gonna take these old rags here and we're gonna put on the rest of it and let that dry and call that fixed. See how it looks under here. Starting to turn stuff black right in here. Can't see it. I will say I did it on the Camaro. Let's go check out the Camaro subframe. It's turned it black. I think it's drying too fast out here in the sun. But if you look at it right here, of course it cleaned the concrete good. Right in here is starting to turn it black a little bit. But I think if you'll go in there and clean it off good before you use this stuff. Now I got some other stuff we're going to use in another video for like super bad harsh stuff. But I think you need to clean it up like we did the fender, and to give you a better job. Don't skimp out and try to cut corners and just leave it raw. Clean it the best you can, then use this. So I'm gonna come back and soak this mama jama right here and throw the rags back on it, and we're gonna get it good. I can't believe the rags did that much better. First time I tried it. Check out that line right there. It's crazy. You know what, guys? Maybe using the rag method here will kind of help speed up the process, because it looks like it usually looks the next day here. So just gonna take these rags and lay over here on this other part. Might go get me a couple more. We're just gonna smush them down in here. You want to lay tight against it and just make her transparent like that. Way she just lays on her good right there. Put some sticky down there. Gotta watch out, the wind's blowing towards me now, so. We'll go get me a couple more rags, lay on this. One right there too, so I'll be right back. All right, get a couple more on here. Let them soak for a couple hours, and I think this will be a good one. It says per instructions 24 hours. I guess it rocks over. We'll see how this does. Now the wind's blowing that way, which is even better. We'll just get her. Get her soaky dokey down a little bit. Alright guys, we're going to let that marinate a little bit and call it a day. Alright, we got her all marinating with all the other rags in the places. We'll see what she looks like tomorrow. The cool thing is now that it's set for a while, if you look, you can see all the welds, just like when you test for welds. Test your welds, I got a video on that. I'll link that below, like if you're cutting to see how much penetrating your welds are getting. That stuff etches it and it shows up your filler material in there. That's pretty crazy. Alright guys, a little over 24 hours and check it out. It's done converted all this rust and stuff on here to iron phosphate. It also puts a layer of zinc phosphate over top of it, so this stuff is it's locked in tight. It helps prevent any more corrosion. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna take me probably some little Scotch-Brite, little red Scotch-Brite or something, and maybe some lacquer thinner, just wipe it down. As you can see where it builds up this little bit of crusties on here. But we're going to wipe her down real good, get her ready to clean, get her ready to paint. All I'm going to do this week is we're going to wipe it down real good. I'm going to leave some of this texture here. That'll be good for my patina. But get it wiped down real good so we can start on our Fotina next week. We're going to put one layer of red oxide primer. I'm just using regular old Rust-Oleum. If you was doing a high-end fender and not this patina stuff, I would suggest doing a good epoxy. I would sand this down nice and slick, wipe it down good, put you a good coat of epoxy on it, then come right back after that with a coat of high build or something like that. Or if you need to do body work, do your body work, then your high build. But we're not doing all the fancy stuff. This is going to be some rattle can stuff here. We're fixing to use the Paint Shaker 4000 on this mug here to shake his paint up. Let me reveal to you what this stuff is. Bam! Skyco Ospo, I guess that's how you say it. This stuff, it works pretty good. I had, like I told you earlier, I had one of my subscribers tell me about it. Said they use it in marine industry and stuff like that, in salt water. Works killer, and that's what I use. I hadn't even used what I used about here. We still got a little bit left in the Rust Killer bottle. This is the way I would do it, but stuff works really good. I like it. That comes in quarts and gallons and stuff like that. But yeah, you can go online and read about it. I'll put you a link to my Amazon affiliate account below to where you can scoop you some up if you want to. I make a very small percentage off that Amazon affiliate account at no extra cost to use. Just a cool place you can just go scoop it and you ain't got to go looking for it. But yeah, impressed with this stuff, guys. I saw videos of the guys doing like cattle gates and stuff, and you just put it in a pump up sprayer, go out there and spray it, locks that unit down, and instead of just letting it rust away. So far this stuff looks good. Let's go out and check on that Camaro chassis. If you guys remembered, I just sprayed on a light layer on one of the subframe rails out there. So let's go check it out real quick. Man, it's nice out today, but sure is windy. It's about to wear me out too. It's pollen blowing through the air, all that stuff. Yeah, we're gonna come around here to the old Camaro frame rail. We ain't done nothing yet. I took that thing and just sprayed it down. I didn't do any brushing, grinding, sanding, nothing. And it changed it pretty good. Also changed the concrete some, so let's get spunked around real quick. There it is, guys, compared to, this is what it looked like before. Now, like I said, I hadn't done any grinding or anything on it. We just sprayed it, because you can see the overspray on the floor. But man, this right here, I soaked it good right there. But you can see all around where it started converting it. It's getting that chalky white look to it. Now, if you'd take this thing right here and wire brush it, it should look like $1 million after you sprayed it. But I'm probably gonna do this whole thing with it. See how the sides, it already turned it back the gray color. Yeah, we're gonna probably do this whole thing. This is my 68 Camaro subframe I got off my buddy Jim. So we're gonna get this cleaned up. We're gonna use this under some future project. You know, I don't have any projects, and I'm starting to get bored with my time on my hands. So if you see any projects out there I need, just let me know. All right, let's get back in the shop where the pollen's not blowing like crazy and stuff. Probably gonna set the fender outside, but probably got to film you off from inside because this wind's a whooping pretty good here today. Good old entrance to springtime, which I like it. Nice and warm. I think it was like 75 or something today, but let's get back in the shop and get at it. Laid up here, and I think I got some old used Scotch-Brite. I like to just keep this stuff tore off. This is just a red. We'll link some of this down, but it works good. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some gloves on. Man, that does such a good job. I can't believe how good. I hadn't decided if I'm gonna body work this. Like I said, with the texture trying to pull this off, we got this hammered out. It's got a few little low spots, but I don't know. I'm not going to buying any Bondo because I haven't bought it or plastic filler in a while, and I don't see a point in buying any, but we'll see what it looks like we get cleaned off. I may do a little body work to it before I start doing my faux thinner on it. So let me get me some gloves and some lacquer thinner, brake cleaner. You can use brake clean also, but I'm gonna use a little bit of regular old lacquer thinner. All right, guys, I just put me some lacquer thinner in one of these little squeeze bottles here. And we're going to get our rubber gloves on. We're not trying to really hog down on this. We want to get it clean. Good thing Scotch-Brite will give it a little tooth for your primer to stick to. And then we'll come back maybe with some glass cleaner or something on top of that. And just make sure everything's good and clean. I'm not going to run on my patina area too much with this. So all I'm going to do is just drizzle a little bit. Just give her a clean, a wobbly table. Might have to get a little stronger sandpaper on this. Some of this right here, where it's pretty thick. Give her a wrench real quick. See how that looks. Pretty good, guys. I'm not taking all this texture off. If you're painting it nice, I'd probably try to get some of this. Let's go up to like maybe a 220 or 120 grit sandpaper. I'll see what I got laying around. And see if we can get some of this rougher stuff off, because this lacquer thinner, that heavier stuff here is not taking it off too good. Alright guys, found some of this Indasa 180, I guess that's how you say it. 180 grit. I call it file board paper. It's got the sticky back. We can just fold it over on itself like that. Got two pieces here. This is some of that top shelf sandpaper here. So we'll try that and see how that does. We're gonna soak her down one more time. Get a little bit. Like I said, if you was doing a more higher end paint job, I would probably try to get more of this off. Because this stuff converts it, it's hard. You know, normally if you would get rust stuff, you know, taking it off and you start sanding it, especially that paint over stuff, if you sand it in, rust pops right back up because it just covers it. This here, ain't no brown coming back. That looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm going to leave some of this just for texture, because I'm trying to build texture. Almost looks like a galvanized it turns it into. Come on, Beavis. This table is not the greatest. What if a razor blade take that off? Well, no problem. Lacquer thinner, it evaporates so quick. I messed up my stuff. That wasn't smart. See if I can clean my patina back up. Tell this is like lacquer paint or something on here, because as soon as you put lacquer thinner on it, it gets soft. There we go. Come back. So yeah, let me grab a razor blade. That'll work. Or a paint scraper. Yeah, look at that, guys. When that stuff comes off, there's not rust under it. It just flakes that old iron phosphate right off. Look at that. Clean as a bean underneath. It absorbs down in that rust and converts it all. It don't just convert the top. It does it all. Alright, we got the big chunky monsters off there. Yeah, this works pretty good. Even dry. It works pretty good dry to get all this. I tell you guys, for a good option, a DA with some 180 or probably even maybe get down to 120 with it would be good. Check that out. It makes this metal look almost like galvanized. Here. Unreal how you can take a 1965 piece of rusty metal. Now this thing, the only reason I redone all this, You watched the previous video where I was stripping the rust off. The guys, I guess, is getting ready to start redoing this truck, and they just went down through there and ground all the paint off, and it's set for 20-some years till I got it. But look at that, guys. That looks like brand stinking new metal. I mean, go back and watch the video before. I'll link it in the description below. What this looked like before we started. I mean, it's pretty crazy. This 180's doing a real good job on it. My glove done blew out. Look at that, guys. That is amazing. I'm a fan. I'm probably going to buy some more because, as you saw out there, I got a lot of rusty junk. Tons of rusty stuff laying around. I would have not known anything about this if you guys hadn't reached out. Come on now. If you guys hadn't reached out and told me about it, because I'd never heard of it before. So I take what you guys leave in the comments. I take it and check it out. And most of the time it's some really good stuff. Always wear gloves when you're doing this. Even though I'm not. Now I'm going to come back with some Windex and or some of that Sprayway. I get that. I like it. Sprayway is pretty good. It's cheap. Cheap stuff, but works good. One good thing about this stuff versus like some of that real bad acidic stuff is it, you know, if you use a real harsh acid on it, it's gonna keep digging, and this thing would have been rusted back by now. Also, guys, if y'all are gonna be down in the Austin, Texas area, I'm going to be down at the Lone Star Roundup, April 19th and 20th of 2024. I'm going to take a few shirts with me. I don't know if anybody's going to be down and wants any, but I'll have a few. If you don't want a shirt, you just want to come up and say hi, please do so. We'll be down there walking around, checking out all the cool hot rods. Saw where Puddin's going to be down there, Puddin Fabrication and Mortsky Repair. And several YouTubers are going to be down there. But I'm going down there to look at hot rods and talk hot rods and have fun. So y'all are down in the Austin, Texas area being, we're going to make that long 20-hour trek down there. We'll rub on it a little bit dry and just, we're going to come back and put a little primer on it. Alright, we can give her one more wipe down real quick. We'll take a gander at her and put some red oxide on her. Get this one spot down here just a little better because all this turned out so good I hate to leave it. Get this area here just a little bit better. Put my lid back on so I don't waste this stuff. You can tell that's lacquer, boy. That's an easy way to tell if it's lacquer or not. Put a little lacquer thinner on her. and she'll get gooey. All right, guys, that's right there's some pretty good stuff. Let's go over it real quick before we put in the red on it. Hey guys, that patch we done last week turned out pretty daggone good. I don't know if I'm gonna do any mud work to it. I mean, like I said, we're going patinaed. It's got just a little low spot there, but I think I'm gonna rock with it. We'll see what it looks like. We'll get the primer on, but check out that finish, guys. It looks like a brand new fender. This thing was solid rust when we started with it. And got her stripped down, looking good. All those stains it was on it, see all these areas here, it used to be stained black. It just took it off. There's no more rust in this at all. So we're gonna get some good old spray away here. Where I got open can somewhere. Let's go over here to the tool wagon. I'm going to have to organize the tool wagon here. This little shelf works good instead of having, these was supposed to be our most used tools and stuff, but now it's just turned into chaos over here. So it's what I like to use here. Spray away, it's cheap, works good. I'm gonna have to go get me a couple more rags. Get this wiped down. First thing I'm gonna do probably is try to turn this unit over, get the back side. And just try to, I guess you want to say, just isolate. Man, look at that rotten piece of junk. Got to get me another one of them. We're going to try to just isolate anything that may be back here. I don't think it'll, let a little run back here. I don't think it'll corrode or anything if it's left on. It seems to lock it down real good and convert it, but I'm just going to spray all this down real quick with some of that spray away. And some of this in here's Raton, but we ain't worried about it. But you can see our patch we're done. Looks good. Everybody always wants to see the back side of them. That's it. I hadn't been ground or anything. I don't know if I'm going to grind it or not. We may eventually grind it before we're done with it, but it don't need to be ground. You ain't going to see it nose house. Okay, you talked me into it. I'm just going to knock the heads of this off. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm probably going to come back. I'm not going to paint none of this. I may come back and treat the backside really good later. Y'all don't need to see it. You done saw how it works, but I'm going to blow this off real quick like. And we'll get ready to start putting some red oxide on it. I can't wait to show you the treat we got with the Paint Checker 4000. If you guys ain't seen that video, that'll be linked below also. So just clean any of that mess that's on there. And it just kind of preps it so when we go back to paint it, it's already halfway degreased. We may come back, I'll do the OSPO on the back side over here. I may come back and wrapper line the back side of the fenders. Try to decide, guys, on the firewall, if you've been following this project, the Patches 65 C10 project, it's been very sparse, so I hadn't done a whole lot of them. But we showed how to shade the firewall and stuff, and I'm going to slick paint it the blue. What do y'all think? Think I ought to just wrapper line the firewall? The underneath the cab's already wrapper lined up to the bottom of that brake. And We can raptor line the back of these. That stuff works really good, but we're gonna make sure we get that rust neutralized by the old OSPO. All right, let's get this unit flipped over. This table needs to be about 3 inches longer. So now I brought 2 rags. Wipe the outside of this thing off real quick like. Do a section at a time, that way it's not so much. I clean my patina back up real nice. See how nasty it still is. But what I'm going to do when I spray this, I'm going to try to just spray around this edge a little bit here. Try not to get it. Like I said, we're using this for a reference picture. Of course, we got the rest of the truck, so we got to match the rest of the truck. Trying to figure on the white, guys. Wait, I was thinking the Wimbledon white like the Fords have because it's dingy, and that's kind of dingy. I don't know. What do y'all think? Nasty stuff. Looks good though, man. I wouldn't have thought any of that stuff. I've used a lot of different rust stuff before, but I've never used this, and I really like it. Said not sponsored. Paid for that with my own moolah. I'm thinking the way Amazon prices change and stuff, don't quote me on this. Of course, I have the link down there. I think that gallon was around 40 bucks. It says it will do 600 square foot, but on a truck, like I said, if you'll DA it down really nice and get the majority of it off, you can, or strip it like we did this fender, like I done in the video. It don't take near as much. It converts it fast and looks good. I'm gonna go get me a microfiber now because even these Scott Shop towels, they leave lint balls all on it. So we want to get some microfiber, it'll pick all that up. All right, got me one of these microfibers, kind of like the smaller ones. I guess they're Grants. I think these came from Harbor Freight. Habit, always pull the tag off. When you buffing cars, what we use for all my buffing and stuff when we paint cars and polish them, because these things just grab everything. Nice and smooth feeling now. Just don't use this one here on a paint and polish job. But get these from Amazon. I'll link these, and we'll give them Harbor Freight. You can get them about anywhere. Alrighty. Alright guys, if you haven't saw this video, you know we're going to link this. You know we're going to link this one also. This is the Shakemaster 4000. I showed you how to build this thing. It's made to shake your spray paint up, and it goes in a Sawzall or a reciprocating saw. I was going to see if you guys would be interested. I thought about making a few of these and putting on my website, www.acdesignsgarage.com, where you can scoop up these rad shirts. You guys know that. Thought about making some of these up. If y'all are interested, drop comments below. But I'm going to show you real quick how easy you can shake paint with it. And you ain't got to spend a fortune. I think these things are like 40 or so bucks on there for an old plastic thing. This is handcrafted United States steel. Awesome radness. Yeah, it works. So right here's what we're using today. Primer of choice. Regular red oxide, not because it protects any better, just because this is what they used underneath all the paint jobs back in. So you just slide her in there and grab your old screwdriver, tighten accordingly on this little clamp here. You don't have to hog down and bust it or nothing, but you don't want her to come flying off. And then it's time for the magic, because you could never handshake this enough. I know y'all would get a kick out of that. It does really work good though. A little bit of southern ingenuity here. I think that is all shook up enough, as Elvis would say. Oh yeah, you can feel it just flowing around in there. So let's get to painting this thing. But check it out, guys. If y'all be interested in some of these, I'll personally make them and put them on there. Drop the comments below if y'all interested. Or I could be the only guy around that has one. Be one of the cool kids if you had one. Alright guys, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna try to stay away from my edges as much as possible. Like to do that, clear the tip out. Now don't go hogging. I say that a lot, don't I? Oh well. We just 50% overlap like that. And I'm gonna tell you, you can't really even see that. I want you to see that for it hazes out. I mean, guys, there's no Bondo in that. It's not 100% perfect. That glare there will show you. You can see the little bit of line there, but shoot, man, we ain't gonna change that. We ain't putting no mud in that. Here we go. I'm just gonna carry y'all around with me while I'm painting. It's a lot easier anyhow. As long as I'm watching what I'm doing and not looking at the camera. So we're just going right here. We're gonna leave all that roughness around the edge. We'll come back with probably some 400 on this. I don't know if we'll two coat this or not. Looks pretty good though, don't it? Try not to go too far. Get into my blue, I can't match it up. Well, hazer right there, about as far as I'm going right there. All right, we'll let that dry. Check her out. She pretty slick, ain't it? Digging it. I do need to do that bottom side because I remember we repaired that down there, so we'd like to come over here and get us some spray bomb. And we're gonna go on the back side here. Oh man. See if we can get up in there. Let's get our little patch covered. And I'm gonna let this tack. And I may do one more. All right, that's about dried enough. We're gonna put one more. More just an even coat on it. Nothing real bad, but you can watch how I'm doing. I'm basically 50% overlapping. Try not to get up there around the other stuff, even though I'll probably end up time it's over covering it. But you can see how we're just 50-50 overlapping. Just do a half over swipe. You ain't gotta put a ton of it on. It'll probably block out fairly smooth. I don't know how good the stuff sands. We'll see. I always wondered why this is for rusty metal. Is it because they made the stuff the same color as rusty metal and you don't really notice that there's rust there because you put this color on it? I don't know, just saying, guys. What do y'all think? I'm gonna put this right here on this unit. Fitty. Call that dead. Looks pretty dead gone good, especially that repair back there. By the time we do all our patina, that repair will disappear if I ain't put no mud in it. So we're gonna get our junk cleaned up. Remember, guys, Shake Master 4000. If y'all want one of them, hit me up. All right, guys, hope y'all enjoyed that little video on using the Rust Killer, or OSPO, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna call it Rust Killer because it's a cooler name. But yeah, that turned out pretty good, guys. Like I said, I'm gonna link all these videos in this progression of this fender right here. Like I said, we did the stripping first, stripped one video. I come back and showed you how to hand make your own patch panel. This wasn't a bought panel, it was handmade, and you can see it don't look bad. It's all the way up here. We made all the little loopty-doopties and all that good stuff. But yeah, if you like this, make sure you hit a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And also, if you're down in Austin, Texas, April 19th and 20th, I think it is, Lone Star Roundup. We're going to be down there walking around. Of course, I'll be wearing the Death Before Electric t-shirt, so come up and say hi, whatever. We'll chat about hot rods or whatever y'all want to talk about. And remember, be kind to one another. Jesus loves you, so do we. God bless. We gone.